The choice to start Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench by Fernando Santos raised some questions, but the result was Portugal's best performance at the 2022 World Cup, a 6-1 victory over Switzerland on Tuesday. Cristiano Ronaldo may have had his worst World Cup performance ever in Qatar in 2022. His lack of success in the scoring department and his benching for 2 straight games suggest he's becoming a little agitated. Ronaldo was benched for the first half of Portugal's World Cup 2022 quarter-final loss, and the team was eliminated. What could possibly motivate Fernando Santos to bench Ronaldo? As it turns out, Portugal prefers to play without Ronaldo even in a crucial match. This was undoubtedly Cristiano Ronaldo's final World Cup, and he was unable to deliver the results that he expected in his final World Cup, which might have been a disappointment for him. Hello and welcome to Goalside. In today's video, we'll discuss why Portugal feels that they are now better without Cristiano Ronaldo. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the post notifications. So without wasting any time, let's dive right into the video. Ronaldo is the most famous player to hail from Portugal's national team. He's played for Portugal's national team a record number of times, 195, and scored 118 goals, the most ever by a man in international competition. Portugal advanced to the World Cup quarter-finals, where they will face Morocco, after Santos benched Ronaldo in favour of Gonçalo Ramos, who scored a hat-trick. Not only did Ramos shine, but the entire squad wowed with its vertical play and well-coordinated counter-attacks. It's not just the national team where he's been struggling with his play. With new manager Erik ten Hag at Man United, he battled to prove himself, scoring just once in the league in 520 minutes. United decided to terminate his contract after he had a public falling out and gave an inflammatory interview in which he criticised the club. The 37-year-old former Manchester United forward no longer possesses the lightning speed that made him a legend in the game. When he's on the field, the rest of the team has to slow down to accommodate him. Portugal were already up 5-1 when Ronaldo came off the bench in the 71st minute against Switzerland, so they did not appear to be dependent on him. However, Ronaldo is no longer able to generate as much danger in front of goal with his speed and dribbling abilities as he once produced. Readers of A Bola had previously voted in support of Ronaldo's benching in the next match against the Swiss. It didn't matter that Portugal play without their captain because they still dominated the game, created more opportunities on the counter-attack, and defended well. The Portuguese superstar Ronaldo came off the bench with around 20 minutes left, but he didn't do much, but score an extremely offside goal that was disallowed. From Bernardo to João Cancelo and Rafael Guerreiro, Santos has a number of players who can supply for Ronaldo if he's forced to take a more peripheral role in the game. Should there be any doubt as to the coach's intentions, it's instructive that he played Ronaldo in every minute of the team's 2 games against the Czech Republic and Spain in the last international window, likely in an effort to get him the minutes he hadn't seen at United and to try and make light of his disrupted pre-season, similar to the scenario which put the skids on his presumed nemesis Lionel Messi's first season at Paris Saint-Germain. Gonçalo Ramos, a 21-year-old striker, started in Ronaldo's place and scored a hat-trick and assisted on another goal in a match against Switzerland, displaying typical centre-forward play of pace, power and precision. With Ramos in the lineup, the Portuguese offence was given a new lease of life, with Bruno Fernandes taking centre stage. It was time for João Felix to come into his own as the next great thing in Portuguese football. Felix attempted 12 line-breaking passes in the victory over Switzerland, which was 2 more than he attempted in the victories over Ghana and Uruguay. For Portugal, the 23-year-old Felix's rising importance in the national team will be the most noticeable effect of Ronaldo's absence from the starting lineup. Ronaldo's speed, dribbling and skill are all clearly diminishing at the age of 37. He had been a clinical finisher in recent years, but his production has dropped off in the past year as well. His XG, expected goals, per 90 minutes over the past year has averaged 0.52. The league's best is 34-year-old Polish striker Robert Lewandowski. With 0.62 dribbles every 90 minutes, Ronaldo's well behind Lionel Messi, 3.23 per 90, who's 35 years old, and Ronaldo has only scored twice in Portugal's in 9 games, dating back to October 2021 as they head into the World Cup. After an incendiary interview in which he blasted the club's hierarchy led to the termination of his contract, his attention shifted from Man United to his international career. Throughout a number of competitions, the entire staff and the team were in complete agreement. This was never an issue in their minds. They were now aware of how quickly the end will arrive. It's acceptable to admit that Portugal's national squad isn't Ronaldo plus 10. The all-time leading goalscorer in international football has had a rough season thus far. Ronaldo's eagerness to bring an end to the whole miserable episode placed a shade not just over the first half of United's season, but also over the World Cup, which is likely to be his last. The return to Manchester United did not work as planned or imagined. There was a time when such a streak of success, if we can even remember something akin to it during Ronaldo's years of plenty, would have been written off as a fluke. His royal preeminence was undeniable and unchallenged in his homeland. The footballing community in Portugal closed in on him, preventing him from hearing any criticism or opposing viewpoints. The tide started to turn. As the dust settled from Portugal's shocking Euro 2016 triumph in Paris, the team underwent changes. Due to the emergence of a talented generation led by Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes, players who may have struggled to be fit into Fernando Santos' circumspect strategy 6 years ago, the safety-first containment strategy had to morph into something more expressive, not always for the good of results, it has to be said. Adjusting hasn't always come easy. Perhaps the clearest illustration of this is Bruno Fernandes, who has flourished in the affluent atmosphere of the Premier League ever since he first donned United's red shirt in February of 2020. The midfielder's role of setting the tone for Portugal hasn't always been compatible with the team's previous goal of feeding their hungry centre-forward Ronaldo, but he and Ronaldo haven't always connected for Portugal. Maybe it's because they've been training together at Old Trafford, or maybe it's because passing everything through Ronaldo is no longer the strategy, but recently with the national team, they dovetailed together more neatly. Although Santos had arguably already set the table for it, Bruno Fernandes' need to lead on the field and Portugal's desire for him to recreate his United form on the international arena spurred Portuguese football society, fans and media to think beyond the Ronaldo era. Coach Santos plans to rest Ronaldo in the first half so that he can score in the second half as Portugal continues to compete for the World Cup. Ronaldo showed signs of what it would be like to be a starter after he left Manchester United. As a replacement in a 3-1 Premier League triumph over Arsenal in September, a revitalised Ronaldo had an immediate impression with his work rate in front of the net. A second act may not have been what he expected coming into this World Cup after a glittering career spanning nearly 2 decades. However, with a team full of potential game changers in the peak of their careers, he may find that he's better off away of the limelight if he ever hopes to win the World Cup. In your opinion, would you say that Portugal has improved in the games in which Ronaldo was benched? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.